All right, special non-video edition here. This is a race recap episode. Charlie and I we're in the car. We just ran the awesome Twosome Choose Your Cause 5K race for charity. Pretty neat event. We talked about it in our last episode, but basically Charlie and I start at the same spot and it's a loop course and we go the different directions. And then you must high five. We had a great high five.
Yeah, I had to sprint to get that guy. I was getting blocked off by the guy.
Actually, you had to do extra mileage.
I sprinted. That's why. Yeah,
that's maybe why.
That was the second we needed. Maybe though.
Maybe.
Sprint.
But it could have been the second. Like I don't know how their high five went. We didn't see. So basically, when you pass your teammate, you're supposed to high five each other on the loop. Yeah. So we actually, drum roll please. How did we do, Charlie?
Well, this is unbelievable. Well, we won.
But
wait. Here's the thing.
We won a race.
We won by 1 second.
Less than 1 second. We won by less than 1 second on, 38 minutes we did?
38:35 was our total time.
Yeah, so I did 19:09.
And I did 19:27 PR. But I'm not super happy that Rob beat me, but it's all good anyways.
It's kind of the worst feeling on earth when your brother beats you. But today we won.
Well, we won. We won. So.
And we both were kind of thinking 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I was, like I told you, I ran this week on Tuesday, and I tried to go as fast as I could on the treadmill, which is cheating.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So I did a 21-minute 5K on the treadmill. But I guess it's a race.
Yeah.
You feel motivated. You feel you're ready to go. So you were telling me your story. So my loop was a little faster than your loop.
Really?
Because I had the guy who won.
Yeah. Your loop was faster. Yeah. I thought you meant like the course. There's no wind.
No. Course was
the course same, was very much the same. Like it didn't matter which way.
I mean, arguably you guys had the inside lane.
Yeah, fair enough. So mine was way easier.
Way easier. Way easier. But the guy who was, like, what was the guy's name? What's that guy's name? Who did
on your side, John Coffin is a classic Winnipeg. He's a pilot. He's a really good runner. He wins almost every race. I wanted to tell you, don't try to follow that guy.
I didn't know he was on. I had no idea. I saw all the guys at the. So it's not a chip start. It's just like a gun start.
Yeah.
So I had a bib number starting with number 2, which means I had to go left to start. You had a bib number 1, which means you have to go right to start. And so we split up at the start line, and I saw.
And then you also had the other guy that beat me twice.
His name is Mike something. Mark something.
Mark McLaughlin, I think.
Yeah, he's fast.
So he beat me the last 10K and 5K that I did. But I didn't think he'd be as fast as he did because he just barely beat me in the 5K last time when I wasn't as fast. So.
Do you think he's pretty consistent, like his time? Do you think he did the same time as last year?
No, he as the last 5. He did faster than the last 5K for sure.
Yeah. Do you think he's our age roughly?
No, he's younger.
He's younger.
He's definitely younger.
Okay,
but John is about our age.
Sorry, yeah, okay. So John's our age, and John is crushing. What did he do? 17 minutes or something?
Yeah, he usually does 16, 17.
Also,
but
do you think he knows he lost?
I think he went a little easy. It cost him the race.
He was so
I don't
far
think
ahead.
he really cares about winning that much, but maybe
less than us.
Yeah, probably less than us. Yeah. So it was and we talked to his wife after.
Caroline,
yeah, and so that was nice. We got to talk to a bunch of people. Actually, it was great.
Yeah, Jen Sacco was there. All these people there. There's so many people were there. The Carmen runner on Instagram.
Yeah.
Chris Dick, I believe is his name. He did good. But okay, so anyways, this race starts. You want to? How did your loop start?
So I went hard out because I'm always scared of a 5K for some reason. I feel like a 5K pace, I just know it's going to be hard.
Maybe
right?
Before, tell us what we did for warm up and all that, and then what your strategy was.
Yeah. So warm up, we went like 5 minutes, just easy jog, and then we with I think we threw in a couple strides in there, and then what we did is we went like 2 minutes at race pace. It was actually slightly faster than race pace, but we did like 2 minutes, and we're like, oh, that's so hard. We won't be able to.
I was not in a good mood.
Yeah, we're like, oh man, it's gonna suck. This is gonna be so hard.
Yeah, I wasn't in a good mood when you were like, okay, we'll do 4 minutes of this. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. This is gonna take 5 minutes.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, we're just going to the sign.
Just to the sign.
We're just going to the sign.
Okay, yeah. And the worst thing is, so we had kind of agreed to leave at a certain time, and I was like, you know what? I want a long warm up. I want a good warm up. So I texted you. I said, I'm picking you up early. just so that we could get extra minutes. And once we got there, I was like, but I mean, we went.
But it was
we
tight.
needed those 5 minutes.
It was tight because we just got to we were the last people to get to the starting line.
Which was a good strategy actually, because we cut right in front.
Yeah, and then we like psyched people out. Maybe no, just kidding.
Oh, those guys look like they know how to run. One guy's wearing a shirt.
And when I got there and I stood right at the front.
I was like, I'm not going to do a Charlie move. No, you went second row, and then you're like, screw this, and then you cut off the other person. Squeezed in. I was like, okay, these two or these three are fast. I'm just going to follow them, and then once it opens up, I can...
Yeah, I should have told you about John, though.
I didn't know about John. Anyway,
so you tried following him a bit. Anyways, okay, I'll do mine first, and then we'll talk about yours. Anyways, this was super fun.
So fun.
But 5Ks are hard.
Oh, my God.
Anyways, they're a lot of pain. You have to be ready for the pain, anyways. So if you
want to do well, you have to suffer.
Yeah. So anyway, so my first K, I was like, I know I have to go hard. I don't know how hard, but based on my warm up, I know I have to go pretty hard. So then I was like 5 minutes in. My first K was like 3:47 or something. I was like, man, I guess I'm going. It felt doable. The whole time I was telling myself, slow down. Like save to go hard.
Okay, so hold on. 3:47. What was your average time? If it was 9:27, your average time, 19:27.
I think it was more like 19:20. Let's say it was 19:25. Then my average was
3:53.
3:53.
Okay, so you started at 3:47. You said?
Yeah, 3:47
per kilometer.
And then my first kilometer, and then 3:51. I knew I was going too fast. I was trying to slow down the whole time, but I was pumped, and it wasn't too bad. But at the same time, you have to save so that you can go harder at the end, right? And so then 3:51 and then 3:55, and then it started to hurt. Actually, during the third kilometer is when it started to hurt, And then I was like neck and neck with this other guy. This is really fun. So the guy was, because I went out a bit too fast, he was behind me the whole time. And then at like kilometer 3, he pulled up right beside me. We were running neck and neck the whole time.
Right when we passed each other.
And then in this race, you're supposed to high five your partner. So he was like on my left side, and you were on my left side, and I needed to high five you.
You didn't trust because I didn't see you because I didn't know what shirt you were wearing. I didn't recognize you.
I recognized you. I'm like, okay, I got to high five. Because I knew it was coming soon, because I knew 2 minutes. I was like, he's going to be close to my time. I knew it was coming soon, right? So I like sprinted to get by him so I could give you a high five just because.
Well, you had to go across also.
Yeah, and across. I guess I could have done a left-handed high five. No, because the guy would have been in the way.
You could have just moved a little bit, and then we could have done a left-handed high five. Would have been awkward. But.
But I didn't know. So anyway, so I sprinted a bit, gave you a high five. At that point, I think I was probably, my pace was maybe slightly, a couple seconds. I must have been a couple seconds ahead of you based on where we high fived, because I was 2 minutes into my third kilometer.
It was exactly 9:46.
Yeah.
When we high fived.
Yeah.
9:43.
Well, the way I'm calculating it would have been... Okay, so maybe I looked at it 5 seconds after. So it would... Yeah, I probably looked like 5 seconds after we high-fived.
Yeah.
So then that's when it started getting hard. That guy passed me then, right after that. Because I sprinted to high-five you, and then I went back to, like, my normal pace, and then he, like, slowly caught up to me and then passed me. And then like, it was so interesting because he was right there. He was, like, for, like... 4 minutes, he was like 2 feet, not even two, he was like, I could touch him for like
Were you behind him?
Slightly behind him. He was like a foot ahead of me.
Windbreaker? No? Like you guys
there
were
was
side...
there was no
wind.
I
know, but you were side by each?
I could, like, he was kind of almost in my way. Like, that's how close we were, right?
Wow.
And then he slowly started spreading out during the 4th kilometer. But he was still like, I was like, okay, if I sprint, I could, you know, it's still in the cards that I could pass him, right? And then when I got to the last kilometer 5, that's when it got really hard. The first half of that kilometer, I'm like, I guess, like, I'm exaggerating here, but I was like, I guess I'm not finishing the 5K. But no, I was like, okay, just keep moving. Like, it's not the end of the world.
How far were you behind the tight runner?
He was doing pretty well at that point. He seemed to be getting stronger, and that was kind of a bit demoralizing. But I was still only 20 feet behind him, maybe.
Okay.
And then I was, but that first half of that last kilometer was the hardest part mentally, because I was like, I don't know if I can even, like, it almost
kilometer 4, kilometer 5.
kilometer 5, the last kilometer, the first half of the last kilometer. And then once I got to kind of within range and I could kind of feel the end coming, it got a little bit better. And then I finished, I saw you and I was like, oh, he beat me. Because what happens is it spreads out like about 100 yards in, and then you join back up.
Yeah, it's like a T when you start.
Yeah.
One person goes right, one person goes left.
Yeah.
And then you come back at that spot and you could see quite a ways away.
So I could see you. I was like, oh, he's going to beat me, eh? And then, but I was still happy with my time. And
but you kind of knew you were going to break 20 easy, right?
I wasn't sure. I was like, I thought I would, but I was like, oh, what if my watch is off by a little bit, right? Because usually it's a little bit more than what your math on your watch says. So, but yeah, I was pretty sure I was going to break 20. So then 1925 is what I thought. I was more like 1920, but
he finished how far ahead of you? Close runner.
Oh god, it's a blur now. But I'm guessing
3-4 seconds.
I'm guessing it was like less than 10 seconds ahead of me.
And did you see anyone else in the race?
No,
just you two.
Just me and him. Yeah.
There wasn't even anyone close.
I think I heard someone at the end during fourth.
There was someone behind you.
Yeah, I think I heard someone at fourth kilometer and he was coming strong, and then that's when the last second half of that last kilometer I picked it up, and I think that woke me up a little bit when I heard the third guy coming. Yeah, how about you? You must have been good.
I've never done a 5K. Never done one. That's one of the
it's fun,
most exhilarating
it's
things.
Fun.
Like,
it's
quick,
tough, but it's
fun. But I mean, it's kind of like
you're back in track and field a little bit.
Yeah, it's what I feel like, and I love track and field.
Yeah.
Like I did exactly those distances: 3,000 meter, 5 cross country. Like that was my distance.
Yeah.
I think I did. Like I was asking Derek if he remembers what our PBs were in high school. Is it possible we were doing like 19 minutes in high school?
Yeah,
18, 19.
I would imagine it's definitely possible.
Yeah. So I don't know what, but it was so fun. So I went out. I was like, I am following these guys. I'm just gonna stay within reach. But
so wait. So there's John.
John.
He did you let him go at some point? Just like say, forget it.
20 seconds in, I was like, yeah,
I got to the corner at the same time John got to the corner, so I guess I went out a little too hard. Like he was going left, I was going right, and I got to that corner. 100 meters out.
Oh yeah, you were ahead of me for sure.
Yeah. 100 meters out, I was like right behind John.
Yeah, like a minute. By the time we were at that turn there, I was like, okay, this guy's.
Yeah.
And then there was no even doubt that maybe.
Then was there another guy?
Okay, so
Mark,
I was
so
third.
That Mark
was ahead of me, like way ahead of me.
Oh, okay.
For most of the race.
Okay.
So I want to say,
went out hard.
like I couldn't see him for some stretches, like in the forest there.
And what was your splits? Oh yeah, you went by miles. I forgot. I should have set that up for you.
That's where I was looking at you right at the race start. I'm like, how do I change this?
You didn't tell me.
I was like, I didn't want to stress you out, and I didn't want to. But I knew.
But we had like 3 minutes. I could have done it easily.
I know, but I knew that what did I say? 620.
620 or something.
626s were.
It's 20.
There's 20.
It's 20. Okay, so you knew 626 was where. But
I did. Yeah. But I mean, I started, and I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna follow, go how I feel. This Mark guy was ahead of me, but I was like, I think I could roll with this guy. And then I was just looking over my shoulder the whole time. Finally, I decided I'm gonna try to stay with this guy. But yeah, it was so painful. 6:09 I did the first mile, but I started.
You did 6:09 the first?
Yeah.
Oh, so you were way under. That's 17 seconds under. Okay, I guess times 3. You kind of kept it at that pace the whole way.
But my second mile was 6:20 something, I think, or 6:19.
Okay, so you were like, at that point, you were like, okay, save myself for a good finish.
Yeah, I went out too hard.
You realized same thing as me. You realized you were too hard.
The second mile was the most
Except
painful.
that you had more to finish.
I started feeling good for the third mile. I really enjoyed it. Like, I was this is going to be good. I'm going to pass this. I knew I was going to pass him.
Oh, you had a guy to pass.
I had a guy to pass.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
I feel like that makes such a psychological...
so different. Every time I've had a race where I've had a guy to... I could see him there, like 100 meters ahead.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to pass this guy. I'm going to pass this guy. And you don't need to pass him now. Just pass him on the third mile.
Yeah.
And then I started debating, when do I pass him? Because I could see I was strong and he was... Like, I could see that I was going to pass him.
Me, it was more like... I had a guy right in front of me, but he was like... Me, it was like, just maintain... I was just thinking, maintain potential like contact so that if ever you feel good, you can pass him at the end.
Right. You don't want to be like half a mile back.
So I think that actually helped me. Like, but but you knew you were going to pass him.
Well,
so.
I felt confident, but I didn't know. Like,
No, you didn't know for sure, but you
I
felt
wanted
like
it.
you could do it.
yeah. And then like I turned the corner, and then I looked at my watch. The what would that be? Maybe 3/4 of a mile left. Maybe. I looked at my watch. My heart rate was 164, and I was like, "Okay, let's go. What are you doing here? Go,
Well, yeah,
Rob."
you got the low
I was
heart.
kinda-
You got the low heart rate. I bet you I was 170 something. I didn't have my heart rate monitor, but I'm pretty sure I was over 170.
Well, I was like 170 and change before that, and I was like, "Okay, this sucks. I don't want to be here right now. I hate this." For the first mile,
Yeah.
because then I realized, "Okay, this is not going to be fun." But then the second mile, okay, so I slowed down a ton so I wouldn't embarrass myself.
You
and
paced yourself so that
Yeah,
you
but
have,
I didn't. Yeah, I don't
you'd
know
have-
if I did it well. But.
No, I think if you can finish strong, that's the key, right?
Well, because mentally, it's so much better to finish strong, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
That last mile, I knew I was going to pass that gap. Well, I knew.
Like I
felt
think if my
confident.
first kilometer would have been maybe 8 or 9 seconds slower, I probably would have gotten a better time. Better overall time.
Yeah. Because there's something to be said for finishing strong because you know the finish line's coming.
Yeah, I would have gained 15 seconds in the last kilometer. I think
Yeah.
if I go 8
Because you have a sprint.
Yeah, and then especially you're feeling good about it too,
Yeah.
right?
If I passed him with maybe, I'm guessing here, 500-600 meters left. Because I knew but then I was like,
And then you just kept going through the finish
well, I was
line.
like, when do I pass him?
Yeah.
Because this matters. Because I didn't want him to.
Get a second win.
So I kind of got my speed and I went and I passed him like with speed. A demoralizing pass.
So you were like, this is high school again.
It felt like high school.
Yeah.
And I saw him and I was
so much fun though.
Oh, it was so fun. I saw him and I was like, yeah, I need him to be demoralized. But I mean, the guy's a great runner. I'm not. This is just how I was
He
thinking.
did that to me twice the last 2 weeks. Last
And I
two
mean,
times.
he maybe went out a little too fast. Or actually, I had a negative split. So like maybe, like I don't know if I played it perfect, but I think I had a tiny bit in the tank.
You
but
probably had like almost an even split though, right?
actually, yeah, because
the first one was
602.
fast.
I think my third one.
Oh, okay. So slightly
possible?
negative, probably slightly negative, which is amazing. That's
But-
perfect
but
for a
this-
5K though. Like I think that's what you want to be.
And then when I passed him, then you got the pressure. Oh my god! I'm like, is he gonna pass me again? Like, is he? Because he's gonna see me. But like, I felt my stride was long, and then I looked at my watch and I saw like 5:55 for my pace. So I was like, okay, he's not running faster than
no, he's not
5:55.
fast. Yeah, yeah.
He's not. That's not happening unless he had a sprint. But I just kept going, and I could. When I turned the corner, the last corner, and I saw you, I looked back because it was a 90-degree turn, so it's a good time to look back, right?
Yeah.
And he was still, I don't know, 50 meters behind.
Did it look like me and him were gonna?
I thought you might lose to him.
I don't remember if I beat him or not. Honestly.
I think you beat him.
I think I beat him because I saw him after.
I thought you finished fourth overall.
Okay. Yeah, the guy that beat me, John, you.
And then the guy that so it was John. So I finished second overall.
Yeah.
Someone finished your guy finished between us.
My guy did not beat you, but
No, he was right behind me.
Yeah.
And then you finished. So you were 20, and then Mark I think was right behind. me.
Yeah.
Is it possible? But I mean, either way, we had this. Oh, and like 1 second victory.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. We won by what? Finally,
Half a second.
so half. Oh wow.
That's our first win of anything. Well, I mean, I
It's
won
my
Birds Hill
first. It's
Provincials,
my
but-
first win for sure. Well, your age group is different.
Yeah. This is a real win.
It's an outright win.
Outright beat everyone else. And you talked about it. You said, let's go do something. Let's go run something.
And then I said, and then today, and then when we talked about in our previous podcast, we were like, you were like, oh, are we gonna try to win? And I'm like, wow, no, we'll go out. We'll go.
No, we're gonna drive across the city.
We're just gonna run easy. And
No, once you're doing a 5K, oh my God, there's nowhere to go but go. Nowhere to go but go. Yeah,
Yeah, I guess.
it's such a fun experience. I'm so glad. Like, I get it now. I was kind of chirping you in the old days. Why is he doing 5Ks? Like, what thrill could he possibly get from a 5K? It's a different.
But
thrill.
also,
it's
like,
a different rush.
Searching for your PR and even those distances is fun too. Like so I love it.
Yeah, I had a great time doing it. I'm glad we did it. And now Sunday we go run Birds Hill.
Yeah.
Consensus is I'm gonna beat him by a minute or 2 or 3 on the swim. He's gonna beat me by 4 to maybe 10 on the bike, and I don't think I can make that up on the jog. So I'm definitely the underdog. But I'm going to give it my all, and hopefully riding a bike is like riding a bike.
Yeah. Well, good luck on that. And
good luck on that.
See you on Sunday. Thanks.
You're picking me up?
Yeah, you bet.
Okay, nice race. Just finished the Birds Hill Triathlon. I'm here with Charlie. We are doing a race recap. On Friday, 2 days ago, we ran the awesome Twosome, which we won. Had a great day. We did a recap in the car afterwards, and it was really fun. So this time we haven't talked about the race yet. Charlie killed me, beat me by quite a bit. But let's start. Oh, where do you want to start, Charlie? First up, why don't we just get a bit of background here. Last year, you did what time?
229 around.
And what did I do? 226?
No, you did 220.
223?
3, like close to 224.
Okay, so 223, so 2 hours and 23 minutes. For those that don't know, it's an Olympic triathlon, which means you swim 1,500 meters, then you go to the transition area, you take your wetsuit off, and today was wetsuit mandatory, which means that the water was cold. You have to, they don't allow you to not swim in a wetsuit because it's so cold. And then you get on your bike, you put your shoes on, you put your bike helmet on, you go and you bike 40 kilometers.
Yeah.
Come back to the same transition area, drop your bike off, take your shoes off, put your running shoes on, and go run 10K. So how did it go, Charlie? I don't even know your time. I
feel like it went pretty well, except for the run where I was like really... The run started off a bit slow, but overall I think everything really went well for me. Like I can't... And the transitions were not as smooth as I was hoping. But when I actually saw the numbers, they ended up being decent. So
what was your total time? I don't even know.
2:23:25. But I feel so. My goal was like 2:20. Remember we talked about it?
Yeah, but that swim was long.
I lost. I think the swim was like 3 minutes longer.
I agree.
Than it was last year. So had it been, so besides that, I think I was right on.
Shit. So I did a good time last year then.
Well,
I know you were 3 minutes faster, but I mean, I feel like you're in unbelievable shape right now.
Yeah, no, I'm. Well, I mean, I'm not a great swimmer still. Like, I mean, but
okay.
I think I was only a minute and a half behind you after the swim or something, right? So.
Yeah, we were in transition at the same time today.
Yeah, but my transition was like a minute and a half or 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
2:14, I think.
So talk me through.
Well, let's talk about the swim. Like, how did it go?
First
for you?
off, like, how many racers today? There were a lot of racers.
It was pretty packed. But what I liked today was like I was in a group for swimming where like kind of everyone was going at the same pace, and it was actually not terrible. Like sometimes I had to adjust, like I was getting hit or had to adjust a little bit or I was hitting other people. But what was great is like all the swimmers around me like were like decent swimmers, and you could kind of trust that what they were doing made sense, and it was nice. It was actually pretty nice for me.
It sucks when you're in a group where like kind of hackers, I'll call them hackers, where they'll, like I used to do this. So you stop and you look around and you sight, and then because if you're trying to like, I don't want to say drift because you can't really drift swimming, but you kind of can, but then you can't because you end up hitting their feet. You end up...
Yeah, so one thing I did today was I went a few feet back. I knew I was kind of middle of the road, like not...
You weren't middle
like top, like maybe second quartile.
Top of the second
quartile maybe in there, right, of swimmers. So I like let the good ones go ahead of me, and then I kind of... My group was good because it was like pretty much people that I was matched with, so it was good like that. How did I thought maybe I saw you at some point, like I thought maybe I was like right behind you at some point, but I wasn't sure. How did your swim go?
I had the panic freak out in the first
well, that's why I said
5-6 minutes.
You needed to like swim a bit.
I couldn't breathe. I felt like I was choking, and now that I remember, I'm having major deja vu.
But it's that cold water too, like I think maybe.
But I had been in the water for a few minutes. Like I went out, I swam a little bit.
Okay.
Not much. Maybe 5 strokes.
Well, I got that like earlier in the week when I did my practice swim. I got that, and then because it felt so much easier today. But
I felt like I couldn't breathe, and it felt like I couldn't I was like, holy shit! It's gonna take me 5 days to swim. Like I felt like I wasn't moving, and I was breathing. Every stroke, I was trying to get oxygen in, and I was like, this is the worst.
So then you relaxed a bit at some point.
Yeah, pretty quick. I'll say maybe at the first buoy.
But like I can't say this enough. Swimming is all about being relaxed.
I know.
It's so hard.
And I know
it's so hard to say.
And I know I needed to be relaxed, but for some reason.
But it's hard. It's easier said than done. Like
the first buoy. So it's kind of it's 2 loops. The swim course.
One of the things I found is, sorry.
No, go ahead.
One of the things I found is going around those buoys, to me, was like, that was a bit of you had to like push a bit harder the effort to go around those buoys because
it's congested.
Because it's congested, and then you're kind of like...
It's a sharp turns.
You
don't want to lose too much.
Yeah,
so
exactly. And you're doing lots of sighting, and
it's congested because everyone's bottlenecking at the tightest spot of that buoy.
Yeah, so you're kind of spending a lot of energy there.
For sure, you're spending energy at the buoy. And when you're swimming out to the buoy, you might have someone 20 meters to your right and 20 meters to your left. It's that wide.
Yeah.
Because you like, there's no real... I mean, ideally you want to go as straight as you can, but everyone knows swimming is not like, it's not a perfect sport.
It's hard to go straight.
Very hard.
I know my first loop I went really crooked on one of the buoys.
So I had 7 minutes. I checked my watch at each buoy. Okay. So I checked it at the corner was 7 minutes.
Okay.
And then it was 15:20 back at the start.
Really? I was 14:59 when I started.
Okay. Which buoy?
When I just crossed the starting line again.
Okay, I was 15:20.
So I was ahead of you.
You were ahead of me.
Okay, so there was a group that kind of passed me. You must have been part of that group.
I did not get passed. I passed quite a few people in the second loop.
In the second loop, there was like a group of about 5 swimmers that passed me.
And then I was by myself.
I thought I was doing well, though. Like I was...
Okay, so here's the thing. I definitely had a much, much stronger second half of the swim.
Yeah,
because my heart rate came down, I calmed down, and
So you must have passed me on the... Really? So I was ahead of you the first half, probably.
Yeah, 15:20, and then I was 22 on the nose.
Okay.
At the back buoy.
I guess my practice swim that I did probably helped me for that first loop compared to you.
Right. Yeah, I knew it. I knew it in the second loop. Okay, I'm feeling good now.
But then it said I did 32:28, but when I checked, it was like 30:30.
Yeah, I was
So I guess there's a long way before it takes your swim time out.
Right. So
because that's probably why my T1 was way less. They put the mat probably way out.
I said that when we recorded last week. I said plus the jog. He said that's not a long jog. I said no, but it is because they end up counting all that time as your swim.
Yeah,
and not a transition.
I know, but
time.
I was a minute 20 faster in T1
than last year.
Yeah,
but they might have moved.
That's what I
mean.
Maybe they moved it so that it was more swim and less T1.
Right.
I'm not sure. Anyways, So I felt like the swim was way better than last year, but I was a minute slower. So it must, like, that's why when you say it was, to me it was 3. Did I miss the turn? No. It was 3 minutes, right?
Like, so it's the exact number I had. But wait, I'm not done. So did you have moments where you had to like stop swimming?
I had like 1 or 2 where I was like, oh, I'm going really crooked. So I was like, regroup.
No, I had 3 or 4 in the first buoy.
Yeah.
Where I was like, I couldn't breathe, and I was like, I'm going way too fast, and
my first buoy was really smooth, surprisingly. Yeah.
So I so I just kind of stopped. I said, oh, okay, just relax, Rob. Yeah. So I did a few of these, like a frog swim. Yeah. Got my bearings and went again. I did that 3 times on the first buoy. So I fell behind, obviously, because I was letting people pass.
Yeah.
And then the second half was nonstop go. And I was passing people, and I had a really good second
half. So I think we were actually swimming together probably for the first quarter of the second loop. I bet you we were, like, I was in a group of like 5 or 6.
First quarter. So I was with Victor, the green track.
Yeah, and I know Victor. I like touched him. I was following him.
So he was ahead of me.
I recognized his suit, and I was right at his feet for about
which loop?
The second loop.
Okay.
But then he sped past me on the way back.
Right, so he was ahead of me on the first loop, and then I passed him on the second loop, and then I finished 30 seconds ahead of him.
Yeah, so you did the second loop way faster than me.
Yeah, I thought I was like 28 something or 29 when I got out of the water.
Well, official time, you were a minute and a half ahead of me.
Okay, but like, what did your watch say when you got out of the water?
Oh, 30 and a half.
Right, I was 29, I think.
Okay.
But I know for a fact I pushed hard on that swim. Like I feel like
I did well too. So
I was so disappointed when I saw my time when I was exiting transition.
Oh, same here. But
what? I did so good. And then last year I did 27. So call it at least 2 minutes slower.
But that's what I said. Last year was short, right? So
the buoys move. Okay, so then transition. Did it say what I did in transition?
I didn't. You can check on my phone if you want to have it open.
So what did you do in transition?
2:14 T1.
Okay.
Let me just see if I can pull it up.
So when I was exiting transition, you were entering.
Yeah.
So it's crazy how I've done, I don't know how many Ironman and triathlons. Not that many, I
I
guess.
feel like I've never nailed a T1.
Ah, man, it's like...
So sorry, 2:32 was my T1.
What was mine?
And yours was...
I don't think it was fast.
152. You were
152.
40 seconds fast. I had a hard time getting the... Plus, you put socks on and stuff?
I put socks on.
How slow was I? I guess I just had a hard time.
Okay, my T1 was good, Charlie. It's my T2 that was slow. My T1 was good.
I had a hard time getting my wetsuit off.
Because I saw your bike there, and I was like, okay, he's not here yet. Good. I beat him on the swim. Okay. I need to... Back then, I still thought I had a chance of, I don't know, outside shot of maybe trying to catch you on the run kind of thing, right? In my head.
Yeah.
But so I wanted to... It was a race. I wanted to T1 as fast as possible. Yeah. T1 as fast. It's a race. Go, shoes. Let's go. And sprinting out of there. And then, so I beat you by 40 seconds on the T1. But I mean, when I got on my bike, and I was pushing Charlie as hard as I possibly could. I was pushing, because we joked about it before the race. I said, don't draft me when I pass you. And I said, when are you going to pass me? First loop or second loop? And you're like, first loop.
I think you said first loop.
Or I said first loop?
Yeah, and I'm like, no, never.
Well, I knew you were going to pass me first. I thought maybe 2 minutes on the swim was my best case. And that would mean, 2 minutes per loop. That would be 6 minutes for the total. I just expected you to beat me by... Realistically, I thought you'd beat me by 10 minutes on the bike. And that's probably what you beat me by, right?
More than that. I beat you by 13 minutes on the bike.
Holy smokes. Wow. You killed me on the bike.
Yeah. But it's weird because I had a hard time getting... I was tired from the swim because I feel like I went pretty hard on the swim. And I was a bit tired. My first, 10 minutes, I had a hard time getting my power up. And then every time I checked my power, it was actually lower than what I was hoping. It felt like I worked hard, but I was... Anyway, so my bike...
What did you do as a bike, your total time?
1:04.14.
Which is kind of exactly what you wanted to do.
I wanted to do one... I'm actually kind of slightly disappointed I wasn't under 104, but I did 14 watts less average than last year, but 2.5 minutes faster.
Wow.
So I guess my aero
You've
position...
become a very good biker.
No, slightly better. So one of the things I did...
Well, that's what you mean. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Same power, faster, means you're better in the aero.
For a triathlete. I'm just making a joke. Anyways...
I think you're really, really good. He's 104. That's an unreal time.
Yeah, no, it's a great time. No, I agree. So what I would do, though, that last turn... You know how there's that last turn where it's a sharp turn there to get back to do the loop?
Yeah.
I would stop pedaling at the last corner so that's why one of the reasons probably my power was down is I would save my energy on that and I wouldn't stop pedaling. But it was weird. Sometimes I'd stop pedaling and I could see people were pedaling ahead of me and I would still pass.
How many people do you think you passed? Or does it say how many people you passed?
Well, I was 20. I'm guessing I passed about 10 people that were ahead of me. Maybe not that many, but yeah, around 10 I would guess that were. But then there was I actually some people were on their first loop. I was on my second loop. I was passing them.
Tough to tell, right? Well, you kind of know who's on the second loop.
No, I knew who. Yeah.
Okay, so you did a 104. That means I did what, a 117?
117, yeah.
Holy smokes!
But it's still you're still close to 20 miles an hour. It's not.
I know.
It's not terrible, but
it's not good.
But without training, right? So
yeah, what I should have. It was really, really stupid to not go for one bike ride. One bike ride would have been 5 minutes.
Would have made you feel more comfortable.
Yeah, because most of the reason I sucked, I think, because I was just so uncomfortable and in so much pain in weird spots.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So much pain in my crotch, in my butt, in my shoulder. I just didn't enjoy it. I actually really did not enjoy the bike. I knew I had to push.
I loved it because I was like, oh man,
you're passing everyone.
Yeah, I was passing.
104, that would put you in the top 4 or 5.
I think I was 6th fastest.
6th fastest bike.
But right up there with the top guys who have the aero wheels.
What did Labby and
Labby was 102.20.
Yeah.
and Les was 103.20. So Les only beat me by 40 seconds.
Les is a phenomenal athlete with the cheater wheels.
And he's got the arrow wheels. So I feel like
cheater wheels.
Once I get the cheater wheels, I'll be right up there.
We saw Les before the race and after the race. Shout out to Les Friesen. We are same age from the same kind of general area, and we used to play minor hockey together all the time. He was always thorn in my side.
Rob had to shadow him.
I had to shadow him. He's a very, very good hockey player, and good at. I'd play him in every sport. I'd play him in badminton. I'd play him in volleyball. I'd play him in track. I'd play like every sport. I would see Les Friesen my whole life, and then I didn't see him for 25 years, and now I'm seeing him again, and he's beating me at triathlons again.
Yeah.
But I don't consider him a competitor. I consider him in a different class.
Yeah, he's above.
He's like an elite athlete.
Yeah.
But you came like somewhat close to him today. Somewhat.
No, on the bike, yeah.
But I mean, how far? What did he do?
And my run was terrible.
But I mean, what did he do total? What did you do total? 2:23?
2:23.
And he did 2:12 or something?
Yeah, probably.
But I mean, that's getting close, right?
Yeah, I guess he probably beat me like 4 minutes on the swim.
He said he did a 38.
He's not a good swimmer. Like, relative to the other
guy, he's very strong
biking. Not a great swimmer, but he's a good bike, and he's an amazing runner.
38?
But, 38, I bet you was really bad for him. I bet you.
Well, he didn't look too upset. We chatted with him after. You actually lent him a water bottle.
Yeah.
What a great community. Like, he just... I forgot my water bottles. Here you go. Here's one. Okay, so back to your bike. You're obviously... Were your loops equitime?
Pretty much the same, I feel. I think my first one was probably the slowest one because you don't start, with a running start.
So your gauge is tuned in. Your governor. It knows exactly...
No, honestly, I think I could have pushed, I feel like I could have pushed a little harder, but it was hard. But I didn't... I think there's that point where, your legs burn a little bit.
What did you do last year on the bike at this event?
106.50.
Is that your personal best, 106 before today?
Yeah. Well, same all I had a flat, so it would have been my personal best.
What would it have been in St. Malo?
Like 105, but way easier course. St. Malo St. Malo is a way easier course.
You had a flat, you came back, you restarted?
Yeah. So at 105 on the restart. So not really a 105.
That was a fun.
So this was officially it would have been my PR anyways. Like St. Malo is a way easier course. I could probably do 2 minutes faster in St. Malo.
Because there's no hills.
You don't go up and down and the turnarounds. And
I hated those hills. I hated the hills today. And the wind. There was wind.
Yeah.
You told me, north wind.
Yeah.
North wind.
North wind is not a great wind for this course because...
You lose all the benefits of the downhill on the way into the chicane.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're going full speed, you have the wind at your back, and then you have to, slow down completely.
Yeah, so I stopped pedaling, probably for a minute there, and that was my break. So I would go really hard up to that point and then stop pedaling, because I knew I had that break coming. And then I still had to slam on the brakes to do that turn.
I did 1:17, you said?
Yeah.
So my first loop was 24. My second loop was 26. So wow, my third loop was 27. That's oh my god, that's less than I would do for my training runs when I was doing my Ironman. Just to go, I get slower than my training runs.
Yeah.
Wow, I suck, but I'm okay with it.
But it's because you haven't trained. You haven't trained.
I did do something that I'm very very proud of.
But you did a sub 40.
I did a sub 40.
Sub 40 run. That's crazy, man.
And the other story I wanted to tell you.
I don't think I could even do a sub 40 run if I was fresh completely. If I trained for a 10K and then I tapered and I was doing 50 miles a week for 4 weeks and then I tapered, I think I could do it a 30 minute.
I think I did
30 minute 10K, but
my first loop was 20 and a half. I think I beat my 5K time from Friday in the second loop today.
Yeah. So maybe it's a short course, but
I see. I don't have a watch. I didn't like.
Yeah. I was definitely way fast. So my first 2Ks, I'm I guess I can't run. I've never had that experience in a triathlon where I started and running's really hard right now. It was really, I was gassed. So I guess maybe I couldn't have gone harder on the bike, but I felt like I couldn't run really hard. So I did my first 2Ks at 5 minutes. Well, my first K was 5 minutes, and then my second K was 4.5. And then I started doing 4:15s. And then I was okay, just do under 43.
Okay, wait, I want to go back to one story that happened to me on the bike. This has never happened to me.
The first loop. What about on the first loop when we...
First loop. I'm thinking, okay, Charlie, I had no idea how fast I'm going because my watch, last night I was Googling all this thing about so I have a Garmin Phoenix, and it's I think it's the highest end Garmin that you have, and they have a triathlon mode on it, and it's an auto sports switch.
Yeah.
So it knows when you're transitioning, it knows when you're done swimming, and it knows when you're biking, obviously, and it knows when you're running. But I was reading online, and all these Reddit message boards, and they were saying that sometimes it glitches. It asks you to confirm that you're biking, and there's a screen on your watch that pops up for like half the screen, and it's annoying, and it blocks your pace, and you don't know. The guy just said it's annoying. Yeah. So I was like, well, I don't want annoying. So what I'll do is I'll do lap press to switch the sports.
Yeah.
So all I had to do was press the lap button to switch the sports. But I've never pressed the lap button. I didn't know which button was lap button.
Oh, really? You've never?
Which one is it? The bottom?
The bottom one.
Yeah, so I didn't know. So I pressed the stop button.
Oh.
And then it's like, are you completed your race? I was like, no. So I resumed. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to leave it.
So all this running journey, 3 years worth, and you finally learned where the lap button is.
Now, yeah. I know where the lap button is. But it does it for me automatically on my watch. It just tells me every time I do a mile.
Yeah, I know, but sometimes don't you have workouts sometimes where you don't want to? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I love my lap button.
I know, and when I run with you, I don't have to worry about it because you do the lap counting, you do the mile, you do the pacing. Clearly, I need to brush up on my. So I had no idea. I had a watch is all I had.
Yeah.
I'd have the time. So it would tell me like 2 hours, like, I don't know, 1:40, and I knew that my first loop. But I got so when I was on the bike, I'm like, okay, I'm about a minute and a half ahead of him because I'm exiting transition, he's starting, so a minute and a half.
Well, you gained another 30 seconds in transition.
But I didn't know that, right?
Yeah.
I was like, call it a minute and a half, 2 minutes. So on 10K, if I want to finish 6 minutes behind him, is to give me a shot, I needed to be within 6 minutes so I could beat you by 4 minutes in the run. Is what I thought. 2 minutes on the swim, 4 minutes on the run. I got to stay within 6 minutes of the bike. So that would mean 2 minutes per loop.
Yeah.
I can't lose more than 2 minutes per loop. And I knew I was 2 minutes ahead. So when you passed me like a quarter of the way into the loop.
No, it was halfway.
Halfway, whatever. Halfway. I was like, holy shit. It looked like I wasn't moving. You just blew by. And it's funny because when I got passed by so many people, I know how it is getting passed. It's like you hear it in the back. You hear someone pedaling and you're like, someone's barely passing me. You were not barely passing me. You like blew by me. You blew by me.
Honestly, I kind of let up because I
didn't want to crush me.
I didn't want to
crush my soul.
I kind of I slowed down a little bit.
It was so demoralizing. I'm like, what kind of power is he outputting? I'm not moving. And then I got passed by another person, because I probably finished, I don't know, 10th in the swim or something. Like I was
up there.
I was up there. So I was a relatively fast swimmer, top quartile for sure, right?
Yeah.
Probably top decile. Were there 100 runners today?
I don't know.
But like in the top 10, 15%. And then I got passed by everyone on the bike. And the story I wanted to tell you is that one of the times I got passed, it was a bigger guy, and he was just ahead of me. And you know what happens when you get passed? If you're not that much slower, you can kind of stick with the guy who's passing, right?
You can draft, yeah.
And all of a sudden we hit a downhill, and I'm faster on the downhills because I'm big. Well, this guy was big too. But anyways, for some reason I'm always faster on the downhills. I don't know why. Maybe because I don't know.
You just keep pedaling.
So
a lot of people take it easy on the downhills,
I guess. So I was behind this guy. I was, let's say, 8 meters behind this guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll stay at this distance for a bit. Like, I'm not cheating. It's pretty close to 10 meters, and I'll just stay here as long as like a motorcycle doesn't pass right now.
Yeah.
Like this looks like 10 meters to me. Yeah. So I just kind of stayed behind him at that pace. And then the motorcycle pulls up next to me, and it's the race official. Like, sir,
no drafting.
And I was like, I'm not drafting. And she's like, you need to. I said, he passed me. She's like, you need to let up. It's like, what am I supposed to do? He passed me. And she's like, you need to let up. You need to back off.
She's wrong. It's him that needs to pass, I think.
Well, I don't know the rule, but she told me to let up. So I said, okay, what? She said, stop pedaling. Okay, so I stopped pedaling. And then he went ahead. And I said, can I go now? And she said, yes. And then I went. So I don't know if I got a warning. Is that like a warning?
I guess. I don't know.
But then she just left. She wasn't upset at all.
Yeah, she's trying to do her job.
Yeah,
whatever.
First time that ever happens to me.
So yeah, on the drafting part. So what I would do is, but I was passing people, and most of the time, like, to me, it felt like they barely were moving. So, because I was going at the speed of what the leaders were going, but I was in like 20th place. Right.
The same thing that happened to me in the run happened to you in the bike.
Yeah. So
you were a slower swimmer and you passed everyone on the bike.
Yeah. So a lot of times it felt like they weren't moving, but when I'd come up and it was a good biker, like that was probably just a little slower than me, then I would take it.
Slow it down.
I would take
the draft.
I would take it easy for like a minute or two to use it, and then when I pass it, go hard.
Right. It's kind of a non-cheater way to take advantage of the situation.
Yeah. So that's what I was doing.
Did you get passed?
No, not on the bike.
Yeah, because you had the 6th fastest bike time, and they were all faster swimmers than you.
Yeah.
You could have if someone was a slower swimmer and a faster, but one of those 6 people.
Yeah.
I did not pass anyone on the bike. I got passed by, I have no idea, but I'm 30, 40 people, 50 people.
So I passed the 2 that were really fast at the end that I passed. Victor and another young kid I passed right at the end on the bike. They were fast, so it was kind of. So when I got to transition, my transition was decent, not great, but decent. My feet were frozen when I started running. I'm like, I think that's why it was so hard to run.
My hands were frozen.
Because my
body was frozen.
My feet were my whole body was frozen too, yeah.
Did you have a hard time putting your shoes on?
No, because I put the baby powder actually helped. I put baby powder and I had the elastic laces and barefoot. So they went in fairly easily.
I couldn't get my Alpha Flies on. My hands were so frozen. I couldn't put my finger in the loop.
Yeah.
You know, the little loop behind the Alpha Flies?
Oh, man, yeah. And you got to pull so hard on those. The Alpha Fly 3s, though, are better. You can...
What were my transitions? I guarantee you I had like a 3-minute I had a shit transition on the second one.
So anyways, there's a kid that I passed, like, right at the end.
A kid, like 25 kind of thing?
Like, yeah, very young. Right at the end on the bike. And he passed me on the run like I wasn't even moving.
So, okay, Victor, last year, I beat him.
Yeah.
I beat him last year, and, like, I've fallen so far.
Victor beat me by 2 minutes on the run. But
did you beat him overall?
Yeah, I beat him overall.
Because you beat him in the bike?
Yeah.
Because he was a better swimmer, slightly better. What transitions you were checking?
Oh, yeah, your transition you wanted.
Well, your transition, too? Or do you know your transition?
I was like 1 minute on the second one.
Yeah, no, I for sure took more than a minute. I'm going to guess a minute 50.
Well, 1:14 for me.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm going to turn here. And you were... No, you check.
I'll check. Here. How far down am I? Where did I finish
like
overall?
19th or something.
19th. Ugh.
But it was
14th.
It was a stacked field.
14th. That's not bad.
It was a very strong field.
2:24 T2 because I couldn't get the shoes on.
Oh, yeah.
Lost a full minute.
Yeah.
So that's unacceptable. Unacceptable.
But it was just a cold day. It was tough, man. So that kid passed me like right away. Well, during those 2 kilometers where I couldn't run.
So 1, 2, 3.
And then I stayed in my position the whole time after that. I did see Victor. I saw him on the first loop. On the way back, I saw him. I'm like, oh, he's within range. He looks like he's running pretty well. But if I were to guess what my 2 loops were, I would guess that my first loop was probably 22 minutes and my second loop was like 20:55.
So it says 42:55 for you.
Yeah. So I'd say my first loop was like 22 minutes. Like very slow. Probably more, like 22 and a half, I would say. So I was like 22 and a half and 20 and a half or something. I was probably 2 minutes faster on the second one. Second
loop, because you had a hard time with the first miles.
Yeah.
So my first K was, well, it's tough to tell because you don't know when they measure, right? Because I didn't have,
it's tough, yeah.
I didn't have a watch. I didn't have a pace. All I had was, there's a speed trap somewhere here. I don't know, the next one. All I had was just a clock. right? Because my watch, I didn't know how to do the laps. Man, people who are listening, like, don't you like run? Like, don't you train every day? How are you not knowing how a watch works? But I saw kilometer 1, and I kind of started running at 09, and kilometer 1 was 21, so it took me 4:12 to do my first kilometer, if it was accurate. But my second one was like another 13 seconds or something, 4:13.
Yeah.
And after, because that was uphill, right? The second kilometer is uphill, or is it the first one that's uphill?
First kilometer's uphill.
Yeah, but then you get the downhill and the wind for the third kilometer.
Yeah, well, 2 and 3 are fairly easy kilometers. Yeah.
I was doing 350s there.
Yeah.
The first loop, I came in at 20 and change, 20 something, and I did a 19-minute second loop. Like, I did a 19-minute 5K on Friday.
Yeah.
With no swimming and biking.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And then you did that at the end. Yeah, I feel like I could have pushed a little bit harder on the run. I was very conservative because I was like, this is going to be hard. It just felt like it was going to be so hard. But now that I see how much energy I had at the end, like, I probably could have gone a bit harder.
I was so miserable on the bike. I was so miserable.
So then when you get to the run, you were like pumped, right?
It's the same feeling I had in Nice. Yeah. I was like, why am I doing this? Well, I'm not good at this sport. I hated that part of it. I'm like, I hated getting passed by everyone. Everyone was passing me. Guys, seniors, women, young kids. Everyone was passing me on the bike. What am I doing here? Why am I out here right now? What am I trying to prove?
Yeah.
She's biking here.
She's biking from Brunswick.
There's a cyclist on the road here, which I never see cyclists here.
Oh, I always cycle here.
Yeah?
Well,
look at all these cyclists.
Not right on the road here, but that's
right on the road. And that's a tri-bike.
It's a beauty bike. No, it's not.
No, it's not a tri-bike. It's a road bike. Oh, she was out there today.
You think?
I think I saw her. Anyway, so then I was like, why am I here? And then I kept saying, just push hard, finish, and then go blow everyone away in the run.
Yeah.
Just kill pass 1 million people in the run, and that's your goal today.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I had nothing to look forward to, nothing. Finish 20th or 15th or 25th, it doesn't matter, but I wanted that sub 40 so bad. So bad I wanted it. Anyway, so it was the one goal I had. Yeah, I mean, for you, did you have people you were trying to pass? Were people passing you, or were you passing people?
Well,
you were kind of
after the bike, there was that one kid that passed me right away. Oh, yeah. And then really there wasn't anybody within range, so I didn't see any. I was actually more worried. I was struggling on the run, and I was more worried about getting passed actually than actually passing people. So so weird that I feel like I'm a decent runner. Like, I qualified for Boston, I ran a 3:03. Like, I mean, I'm a decent runner, but when it comes to triathlon,
I think it's because you go so hard on the bike.
Maybe.
Is that possible?
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, that's an unreal time you did on the bike. Like,
yeah,
it's one of the best times of the day, right? You're within a minute or two of the absolute best athletes in the province.
Yeah.
Like, you're within a % or two of the best. So, like,
yeah,
that's
so
impressive.
Maybe that's why the run, it feels a bit hard, but
yeah, because you left it all out there.
Well, that's the one thing I said. Like, I know in the past I've done bikes where I'm like, oh, I left too much because I felt like I'd saved for the run. And today my goal was like, don't save for the run. But I guess it was the first time that the run actually felt really hard.
Yeah,
except actually it didn't feel that hard because it was just like getting going that was hard. Like, the second half was way easier.
Are we not going to my house?
Oh yeah,
wrong turn. That's okay. We were talking.
I did the old automaton
automatic.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I hated that bike, I really, really, really love the run. Passing people, and it's crazy why passing people gives you a high, eh?
Yeah,
and people are like, whoa, nice pace. I got a lot of those, right? Because I was so far back.
Yeah.
Like, when you're, like you were saying about your bike, you're so far back that when you're passing people that are doing 50-minute 10Ks, right? They were ahead of me, those people.
Yeah.
So, like, I was blowing by them. I had the 4th fastest run, I think. Yeah. So Like not many
Well,
people.
yeah, for sub 40 anytime. Never mind during a triathlon. It's not a lot of people. Like I would love to do a sub 40 10K one day in a race. Like never mind triathlon, you know.
So I did enjoy that. I wonder what I pushed. But is that why I do triathlon? So I could try to do some 40-minute 10Ks?
Yeah, you should just go and run some 10Ks.
Yeah, maybe I just want to do 10Ks.
10Ks are actually really
But is
fun.
it possible, Charlie, that I did a better time than I did on Friday because I had an hour and a half warm-up, 2-hour warm-up?
It's possible.
I think if I were to, like, you and I debated this, like, what would be the ideal warm-up for a 5K for a guy like me? You and I are probably different.
Yeah.
I probably need, like 40 minutes. Because I don't hit my stride usually till, like, mile 4 or 5.
Yeah, maybe you do. Yeah, I feel like I just need to run for about 5 minutes at race pace, and that's like, or 4, not even 3 minutes at race pace, and I'm good.
So all in all, you must be happy with your time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Provincial champ? Did you win your age category?
I don't know. I think so. But
Provincial champion. I
For
definitely
my-
did
for
not
my-
because
for my
Les
age
Friesen
category.
is in my age category.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he's an 81. So provincial champ, Charlie, I think, in your age category. So congrats. That's quite an accomplishment. I've done it once, and that allows you to go to the World Championships if you want to. It's in Australia next year. What do I have? I have this 39-minute 10K. That's what I have. You going to do this again? 2 weeks? Same model?
Yeah, if it works out, I think I think I'm going to be good to go.
I was dead set against it during the bike. But I
Yeah.
got a bit of a high there on the run, maybe enough to get you going. It's kind of like when you do a birdie in golf.
Yeah.
Like, you know what?
6 bogeys.
6
and
like triples,
a
quads.
triple.
But you finish 18 with a good drive down the middle, stick it to 12 feet, make the putt.
Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe I will come back to this golf course.
Yeah, maybe I'll golf again.
Maybe I'll golf again, even though I shot 103. But I got a couple birdies, so it was a good day. So you definitely got a lot of birdies out there today. Congrats on the run. Anything else you want to add, Charlie?
Nope, that's good. Talk to you later.
Impressive run. So that's another episode. This was the first time we do a race recap right after 37 minutes. It's a long drive. Race recap episode. This combined with our other 20 minutes, this will be a perfect hour episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, guys. Give us a review. Give us a 5-star review.
Oh, wait. Yeah.
What do we
okay.
else? Yeah. What do you have?
Oh, never mind.
No.
So this guy running his first triathlon.
Oh, Morissette.
Do we want to give him a shout out?
Yes. What was his first name? Mark?
Chris.
Chris Morissette. So I think he's roughly a little bit younger than us. He's in 85, I think. Saw him out there today. He passed me on the bike.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, and I knew that he was, so Cass. So shout out to, hold on. We were not done yet. We got to shout out Mia, my little cousin. She's 13 years old. 13 years old, my little cousin. Daughter of one of my all-time best friends, and she ran. I don't know. She won the sprint.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
Outright. She won.
Oh, wow.
She beat adults, and she won outright the sprint. She beat guys in her age group.
That's awesome. Yeah.
She was like, I think she's a very, very dedicated, way more than I am, dedicated runner, and she wants to she told us her goal in life is to make the Olympics for speed skating and for cycling or triathlon. What did she say? Cycling, I think.
You know, it would have been nice if at that age,
you could have done this.
no, if I would have just known what my goal was. That's really good for her because she'll go hard and she'll probably do it.
I told her that. I said, you will make the Olympics. Did you not have a goal of making the NHL at 13? I had that
No,
goal.
I had like 7, and then
I still have. Yeah, there's a chance if I can late bloom. And so Mia, my cousin, won. Congrats! She won the what's the sprint, half?
yeah,
Half triathlon?
yes, it's basically a half Olympic.
She probably like killed my time times 2, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
We'll
Do you
have
think
to
she
check.
could run a 10K? A 40-minute 10K? I got that on her, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
So
not.
want to shout out to her.
Not a lot of people that can run a 40-minute 10K.
And then we found out from Cass that Chris Morissette is doing his first ever triathlon. And then I'm out there on the bike and he blows by me, just zooms right by me. I'm like, this guy's doing his first triathlon, and I'm an Ironman 4 times. I went to the World Championships. I'm a Boston qualifying runner, and this guy's ahead of me. And so I made it my goal to beat him in the run, and I just passed him. Anyways, he's running Manitoba Marathon next weekend. I hope he can do his goals. He's got I think he'll do
a 3:30.
Yeah, 3:30, and then he's running Calgary.
But he's got to stay conservative.
He's never done a marathon.
Start off slow. Yeah.
He's kind of doing what we did.
Marathons are hard.
Kind of doing what we did, just starting and going full speed right off the bat. And
I love it.
I love it too. Yeah, I'm gonna do an Ironman this year. Yeah, he's doing a half Ironman in Calgary, so pumped for that guy. Very, very. We're pulling for you, Chris, and we're giving you a shout out. And it was great seeing you today. It was great seeing Victor. It was great seeing Les Friesen. It was great seeing.
Yeah, I'm glad I got to talk to Les Friesen. I'll need some advice for arrowing my bike.
Maybe we get him on the podcast.
Yeah.
All right, guys. 5 stars. Don't forget to do it. Have a great day, guys. Thanks for tuning in.